Maggie, we are here at your gorgeous ranch. This land, the view, the vista is just stunning. Tell us about your multi-generational cattle ranch.
Our family's ranch was started by my husband's dad, Mark, and his dad, Tom, and it started in the late 70s, and now today my husband Josh and his brother Joe and his dad are the ones who are in charge of the day-to-day operations here.
Great. Okay, and what does a day in the life look like when it comes to being a cattle rancher?
So, interesting question, because every day is a little bit different, but also the same. So we calve twice a year, and so right now we are fall calving. In fact, we have a cow out here. I think she's in active labor. So during the fall season, then we're doing calving, and in the summer we're checking water, making sure our pivots are going, we're growing hay, we're harvesting that hay. And then in the wintertime, again, we are calving for part of that. We also have times where we're getting those cattle ready to breed again.
So the cows kind of predict then your day, right? Yes. The cows predict your day, and then life happens in between as well. Yes,
exactly.
Yes.
Yes, we always have cows to feed and cows to take care of, and then the other stuff would just fill in with whatever's happening.
And I mentioned the land, right? Like gorgeous out here. We're in God's country. It's just absolutely beautiful. How do you manage the land? Let's talk about how you remain good stewards, and you also think about the environment when you are taking care of a herd like this.
Right. So, ranchers are the first environmentalists. The land is the most important, and as well as the cattle. And so ranchers want to be able to stay on the land and use it year after year, so we can't abuse it. So a lot of the things that we do are rotational grazing, or we are doing cover crops. We've used some no-till drilling practices in order to not have to till up that land and keep more of it in pasture. So that's a lot of what we're doing, is just making sure that the pastures are healthy, and we're rotating them off so that grass can grow. So those are some of the things that we look at doing.
It's a lot of things that you guys do actually to make sure that you're taking care of the earth. We have a curious cow here over our shoulder. Tell us about the cattle. What would you like consumers to know about the care that you take when it comes to taking care of the cattle here on your ranch?
Yes, so the cattle obviously are very important to us, and raising them with good practices. We use BQA practices, as most of the industry does, and we want those animals to be treated well while they're in our care, depending on whether they're going to go to another purebred breeder or if they're going to the food supply. And so making sure that if things are sick, then we're taking care of those. We're giving them the vitamins, nutrients through trace minerals that they need based on their nutritional needs. Yeah, ranchers always put those cattle first, because that's the most important thing, to raise healthy beef for people. And one thing I want people to understand too is the beef that we put on our table is the same beef that is going to the grocery store that we're selling to consumers as well. So we want a really good, nutritious, safe product, and we offer that to our families and also to other families.
Okay, and what do you love so much about this industry?
Oh gosh, there's so many things. I think the people first is one. I've been a part of the industry over 20 years, and here in Idaho, and the people that we meet, the other ranchers, people within the industry, support staff, and allied industry, they have such passion for what they do. And there's so many multi-generational ranchers in Idaho. They want to raise this product and take care of the land and the cattle. So working with those people and meeting them, they're the ones who are supporting the sports teams, and they're in the small towns, and they're taking care of their small communities. Agriculture is food production,
yes,
and it's vital. I mean, we all have to eat every day, and so to get to know people who are growing that product and who have a passion for it is really exciting for me.
Yes, I hear community.
Yeah, a lot of these ranches are in rural communities, and they're the lifeblood. So they're also the ones who are on the city council and sports clubs and things like that. So it's very important that we keep those communities strong, and we keep the cattle industry in Idaho strong.
Roger, we are down here on the dirt at the Snake River Stampede, an awesome rodeo event. But before we get into the meat of the conversation about the Snake River Stampede, tell me about your history with it.
Well, I was delivering panels here in 1999, And Bill Dill said, I think you should jump on and be on the volunteer board. And in 2001, I was fortunate enough to be asked to come onto the board.
And the rodeo, the Snake River Stampede, people come out here to be entertained, right? Some people may not realize that there are a number of events at the rodeo that are actually attributed to working with cattle on a ranch. What are some of the events that people are going to see at the rodeo that are kind of akin to work that you would do on a ranch?
So you would have saddle bronc, so when you're breaking horses to get them ready to be trained into other disciplines. And then you have tie down roping, so when you're doctoring or sorting or taking care of your cattle out on the ranch. And then team roping would be another one that would fit into the ranching history.
Okay, so team roping, so you're talking about when you go out into the pasture to go get your cattle, and that's how you're going to wrangle them and bring them in.
So yes, you kind of sort them and gather them and bring them in, and then you bring them into a pen or an arena, and from there you typically want to doctor them. So you would, if you're by yourself and you're out in the field, of course you would have to rope them by yourself, and that's where the tie down roping comes into play.
I keep hearing a lot of repetition with the word roping, so I'm getting the sense that roping and that skill in itself is incredibly important to a cattle rancher.
Absolutely.
It's kind of like cattle ranching 101.
Yep.
You got to know how to rope.
Before four-wheelers, before all the technology, yes, absolutely, horse and rope.
Okay, all right, so I would love to know more about roping.
We actually have a person here who can demonstrate that, David Temple.
Down, David Temple, all right. So David, as you do your roping, can you explain to us, like, what's the first thing that you do?
Well, the first thing you do is you got to get your loop built. Just go around the head of the cow.
So where should I stand? Because I don't know if you're
You stand right over Nord's Roger over there.
Okay, this is good?
So yeah,
Okay.
get your loop built,
Okay.
couple swings, and throw it on the head.
Wow. All right, you made that look so ridiculously easy. All right, so you said you need to build a loop.
A loop.
How do you build a loop?
Yeah, so if it was small here,
Okay.
you know, right there,
Okay.
and just kind of move it around, make it a little bit bigger. Just
All right.
add a little bit more size to it until it's big enough to go around the head of the cow. That's
Dave,
the
how
main
long have you
thing.
been doing this?
Oh, I started roping when I was a very little kid, so I've done it all my life.
All right, okay. So if I wanted to give this a shot, what would I need to do?
You need your glove on.
Okay.
It's gonna be important.
Okay. And what does the glove do?
It's just gonna protect your hand.
Thank you.
Now if things are going fast, we wanna do that. Then you're gonna hold that in that hand.
All right.
You're gonna hold this over here.
Okay.
Make it a little easier here. Right there. And actually, let's move it up a little bit farther.
Okay.
And then just start swinging around your head.
Oh, but wait, how do I do that? How do I do? Okay.
Come in
so-
front.
Okay, out
Yeah,
front.
and then around. There you go. You got
Oh,
it.
but wait, but what do I do with my hands?
So kind of turn your wrist
Okay.
over.
Over.
There you go.
Don't let go of the rope. Just, okay, I'm working on it. So, out, I'm gonna go over, but it's wrapping on me.
So you're
Okay.
gonna turn your wrist over like this as you come around.
Oh, it's the wrist.
The wrist. It's
all
in the wrist. It's in the
everyone.
wrist.
It's all in the wrist. I can't even do this over my head.
Turn that wrist. Feel
Oh,
it? Feel it? How you turn the wrist over there?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, wait. No, I'm still stuck. How did that happen?
I think this will work. I got you figured out. You're just gonna take one good swing and throw. Okay?
What the what?
Okay? One
Okay,
swing around your
ready?
head and then let go.
Here we go.
And then throw it.
All right, Dave, you know what I think this proves? You gotta leave
That
this to
you
the
can do
professionals.
this.
No, no, I cannot. We gotta leave this to the professionals. That's why everyone has to come to the Snake River Stampede, and we all need to have Roger come here because we need to have a great respect and understanding for what it takes to run a ranch, right? And that skill, some of that you can see on display at a rodeo, but most importantly, you can really respect and appreciate it every time you sit down to a nice meal with a big old steak, right?
Absolutely.
If you are looking for locally sourced beef and delicious meals, the Treasure Valley certainly has some great options, and Coins here in Eagle is one of them. I'm going to meet up with Chef Joel to find out about some of their delicious locally sourced beef dishes. Joel, we are here at Coins. It is a lovely restaurant. I understand you guys are a big fan of serving beef.
I think we have a great variety of beef dishes. By having that variety, it keeps getting people back in here. So.
Yeah, and I understand you guys like to serve different cuts, right? Some like unique varieties sometimes, so people kind of come back and try something new.
Sure.
But let's talk about the beef dishes that you serve. Share those with us first really quick.
Well, we serve our mole and our ragu. We use our short rib for that. The short rib is a delicious cut of meat. You have to braise for a while, right, to render that fat, and when it's done, it's just tender and delicious. The tenderloin that we have is a prime cut. What makes it so delicious is that there is the tenderloin. There's no connecting tissue to it. So, what temperature you cook it at, from mid-well to mid-rare, you'll have a nice tender piece of meat.
Let's talk about where you get those beef cuts though, because you guys love to source locally, right?
We do, yeah. For our ragu, for our short rib, we get it from Thomas Cattle, which is a local company. And I think it's important to purchase meat from locally because we can get a wide variety of cuts, right, that is provided by them since it's local, that we can't get from outside companies. I think people take pride in ordering meat from their home state or home city. Purchasing locally is actually the way to go.
I agree, yeah. I mean, there's just so many benefits from purchasing locally, right? Like in addition to the fact that you said you have a wider variety of cuts, but you know, typically local ranchers are great stewards of the land, right? And they really care for their cattle, so you know you're getting the best quality of meat, and we're putting the best cuts of meat in our bodies, which just makes that whole culinary experience even better.
It just adds to the pride that people have about their home state, right? Which I feel like it's great, right? Like I think being proudful of where you're from is huge. So these local cattle companies are actually second to none.
This looks absolutely incredible. Thank you, first of all. Yes. All right, so explain the dishes that you made.
All right, well, this is our mole. It is served with our house mashed potatoes, rosemary mashed potatoes, cilantro bean, roasted corn, cotija cheese, and cilantro. And our mole is a savory, rich flavored short rib, which we braise for about 3 to 3.5 hours. And it is one of my favorites. That is the ragu, braised with the red wine sauce, very rich flavor. And we get our pappardelle fresh. It is also with our short rib. And that is our tenderloin. It is served with our rosemary mashed potatoes and broccolini, which is our seasoned veggie, and a mushroom demi. So,
Ooh, do you mind if I cut into the steak?
be my guest.
Okay. All right, here it goes. Oh. Oh, oh.
Yeah, one of my favorite cuts.
So incredibly tender.
Yes.
It like melts in your mouth.
Yeah, very, very, very tender.
Very, very, very delicious. That is some incredible family-owned local beef. And July happens to be Idaho Beef Month. What a better way to celebrate than to come here to Coins and enjoy one of those delicious beef dishes and ask for Joel too.
Yeah, I think it's important to support family-owned local beef companies. And what better way to do it by coming to Coins and enjoying one of our delicious dishes.
Whether you're looking to save time preparing meals or maybe save money at the grocery store, we have some excellent tips for you from the Idaho Beef Council and, of course, Chef Nikki from Easy Peasy Kitchen. And today, Nikki, we're talking about steak swaps.
Yes.
What's a steak swap? Why do we need to know about it?
So we need to know about it because if you go to the grocery store, you have this recipe and it tells you, oh, you want a ribeye. So you go to the store, well, maybe there isn't a ribeye, or maybe a ribeye is not in your budget.
Yes.
So then it's always great to think and know about other types of steaks that maybe are in your budget or that fit that recipe profile.
I love that. Okay,
Yeah.
and I have to admit, sometimes I'm intimidated by steak cuts themselves.
Yes.
Because I'm like, I don't know how to navigate
I
this, so I'm so
know.
glad that you're doing this
Yes.
today. All right, and what's
So
the
fun.
what's the benefit of beef?
Okay, first of all, the benefit of beef, I love
And
it
the
so
value
much.
of beef,
The
right?
value, yeah.
Okay.
So it gives us so much protein in our daily diet, and just for 3 ounces of protein out of the steak, you have your choice to eat 3 full cups of quinoa or
Okay.
a half a cup of peanut butter.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know about you, but I'm going for the beef.
Yes. Okay.
I absolutely love it. Yeah.
Okay.
And so it's just so much. I just think it's so healthy for us.
Yes,
Yeah.
you get a lot more protein in a smaller serving.
Absolutely.
Opposed to some of the other non-beef alternatives.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's talk about some steak swaps then. What are some of your favorites?
Okay, so some of my favorites are, instead of going to the ribeye or the more expensive cuts, filet mignon, I really love doing a flat iron steak. I love the strip steaks.
Okay.
And I absolutely love the check eye steak. They just have a great grilling component to them as well. They have that beautiful marbling through them still, and they absolutely taste delicious.
All right.
Yes.
So how do we properly season a steak?
Oh my gosh, I'm a good old-fashioned girl, so I just love minimal. I love a good salt, pepper, a little bit of butter. It's so freaking delicious. But there's nothing like, we've got our summer gardens going on right now, and so you could do, on the Idaho Beef Council, they have this fabulous recipe. One of my favorites for the chuck eye steak is the red crushed pepper, fresh oregano, salt. You put it right on there, put your kebabs, some sweet potatoes, and boom, delicious.
And voila. And I love it. I
So
love the
good.
fact that you're talking about like simply
Yeah.
flavoring your beef, because then the notes of the beef actually
They
kind of
do.
come through themselves,
So
right?
good. So
My
good.
friend, you're making something. What are we doing?
We are going to town. So
'Kay.
we are going to do Korean flat iron steak today.
Let's do it.
We're going to do lettuce cups. So
Oh.
first of all, we're going to pickle. We've got a fennel. We've got
Is that what this
cucumber.
is?
Yes.
This is a
Isn't-
fennel.
I know.
Look at that.
Kind of reindeer-ish, but
It
don't be
is.
scared by this. It's super simple. You just cut this down. So we've got our fennel, cucumber, radish, carrots, and then you just put a little bit of, now
Salt.
there's sugar and salt in there, and I like to use monk fruit. It's a great sugar substitute. So we're gonna put this in, and then we put a beautiful brine over it, and we'll get to this later, because then we put a brine over it, we put it in the refrigerator, and we're gonna get back to this, okay?
Okay.
So then we're gonna make our marinade for our flat iron steak. We're gonna do a little bit of this Korean chili paste, gochujang.
Okay.
It's pretty spicy, so if that's not for you, then just limit it. We've got some garlic, we've got some sesame oil, honey, and again, if you don't want honey, you can use different types of sugar
Substitutes.
But I love.
Could you do more monk fruit?
You could. I
Okay.
love the consistency of it. And then we're gonna take, super simple, our flat iron steak with just a simple onion.
Okay.
And then we are going to just slice this up and put this in. Now, this is where a lot of people kind of will freak out with some of the
Absolutely,
fillets, 'cause
that
they're
was
like,
me.
I don't know what to do. So we're just gonna fillet this pretty thin.
So you cut it in
Yeah,
half.
so you're just gonna cut this in half. And now when you
Okay.
get to that, don't worry, just keep going. So then you get this beautiful cut. We're just gonna cut this in half again.
Okay.
All right, so that's the piece
Got
that
it.
we're looking for, just like that. And some of these simpler, easy pieces, right?
Yes.
Super simple. Okay, then we're gonna cut our onion pieces. All right, then we're gonna throw it in a bag.
Okay.
We're gonna take these pieces, okay?
Love.
We're throwing these in, and then we're taking our marinade. I mean, easy peasy, right?
Yes.
And throwing this in,
Love.
gorgeous. Then we're going to
Seal it up.
seal it up, mix it up, and then we're
Okay.
gonna go put it in the
Refrigerator. All right.
And then, but guess what?
Voila, the magic of TV.
Magic of TV, we have one done, so we pull this out. So we just want to take our meat piece, and then we're going to take a little bit of this onion.
Okay.
We're going to put it in the middle, and then we're going to wrap this up like so. Okay, super simple. This is fun to do with the kids. Like, I absolutely enjoyed doing this with my kids.
I do love how hands-on kebabs are.
I do. Just put
All
it
right.
in there. All right, so example, we're good there.
Okay,
All right.
so you're gonna pack the kebab
You're gonna
with
just-
meat and onion.
Meat and onions, super
Okay.
simple, right?
Okay.
You put it in, delicious. And then we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna put it on our grill. And this is a medium high heat grill. We're gonna just stick it right on there. You hear that sear?
Yes, that sounds
And we're
great.
gonna let this cook on each side covered for about
Okay.
5 minutes.
Okay.
And once it's done, voila.
This is what we got
This
right
is what
here.
we have, yeah.
Look
Is
at
this not
that.
absolutely gorgeous?
That
So,
looks amazing.
Dinner party, whatever it is. And then you just take this.
Your beautiful butter lettuce cups.
Oh my gosh,
You put the
yum.
meat, you put the onion, you got your
And here
coleslaw
are
kinda.
This is our pickled vegetables.
Pickled vegetables.
So this is what we had. It's
Got it.
so gorgeous. It's absolutely delicious.
This is beautiful. This is fresh. This screams summer. You also got your cilantro. You got some lime. Is this
Thai basil.
Thai basil.
Right out of the garden. Yeah.
Love.
And then make a simple sauce. So we've got, again, some monk fruit. We have lime juice, hoisin, a little bit more of that gochujang
Okay.
sauce, some garlic.
And then you got your dipping sauce. Sprinkle.
Delicious.
Done. Easy peasy,
And
my
then
friend.
check this out. The
Yes.
steak just shines.
It does shine. Okay, and then again, this is a great example of some of the recipes we
Yes.
could find through the Idaho Beef Council.
Yes, I loved looking through there and finding this. It was just perfect. Yes.
Wonderful. Nikki, thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
showing us
Thank
how
you for
easy
having me.
peasy it is.
I love it.